I wonder how many little Timmies are gonna ask grandma for an Xbox Series X and wind up getting this thing for Christmas instead. Yeah, we're looking at the Xbox Series X replica mini fridge. It's a thermoelectric cooler available only at Target. So I'd heard that these were in stores starting today, and I went on the hunt. I went to several different Targets and none of them knew what I was talking about. Like, I went all over the place. And then the final Target I went to, I actually had an in-store pickup to go grab. And just by chance, I walked to the back and they had a few of these sitting there. I was like, what the heck? This Target's like a smaller Target. And I grabbed one. I had to get it, right? So we're going to be doing a few things. We're going to unbox this, compare it in size to the actual Xbox Series X. I'm going to plug this thing in, see what it sounds like as far as the fans go. And we're going to let this run for a few hours and get a little prodding action with some thermos. You know, we're gonna find out what kind of temperature this thing gets to. It's a cooler. It's not really meant to be like, oh, I'm gonna put my leftover spaghetti in this thing, right? A normal refrigerator for food safety should be below or at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So who knows what this is gonna get at, but I really have my doubts that it's gonna get to that point, but we will find out. I got some room temperature bottles of water I'm gonna throw in there as well. And you know, they don't feel hot, they don't feel cold right now. They've been sitting in the back of my car for like a week now. We're gonna check it out, see if they get cold in a few hours. So this is gonna be a video where I have to stop it and then continue on later on. We got a manual here, a little janked up manual. Just like boom, okay. I don't think we really need to worry about too much with the manual. It's more so just plug it in and get started. Wow, this thing is big. When I first saw this, I thought it was gonna be like one of those really tiny ones that you could put like just a few cans in, but it says that you could put like, I don't know, up to like 12 maybe, something like that. Yeah, that is, that is stupid as all hell. There's the mini fridge compared to the actual Xbox Series X. Now, even just, you know, with nothing in it quite yet, it's not as heavy as the Xbox Series X. It's just not. But okay, let's take a look at the top. This is really cheap looking plastic here, my friends. Take a look at the back. Got some scuff action. I mean, this thing cost $100. Got some ports back here that aren't actually there. AC 120 volt, DC 12 volts on and off. And then, wasn't there a USB port? Yes, USB port right at the front. Wow, that button is funky. They're just there just to press. They don't do anything. Okay, what's inside? We got these, you got little, what are you gonna put some candy bars right here? Put some drinks in there? Okay. I heard some people say like if you leave these trays in there, like it's hard to actually put cans of soda. I don't have any cans of soda, so I can't really attest to that. But okay, here's our plug for the wall, and then here's our plug if you're RV camping or you want to put this in the back seat of your car and cool some beverages, right? Nice. At least they gave you the option. Okay, let's go ahead. Can these even fit in here? Like, let me see. Those water bottles will not go in there. Oh, wait, maybe. Yeah, they actually could. You actually could leave it in there like that, but it would definitely seem like if you... Okay, yeah. I mean, it works. It works, but it seems like if you really want to stand them up, you're going to have to remove that bottom one. And then you could probably fit like four water bottles. Like, what are these, 16.9 ounces or something? Yeah, 16.9 fluid ounces. You could fit maybe 4 of them in there, but then you have to look at the little, this thing. Like, is this gonna block like these? You could pull those out as well, if you want, the little shelves. So it could be like cramping the space there. So there's that. Okay. We're gonna plug this thing in. See the lights? It's supposed to light up too, isn't it? And then we're gonna leave it running for a while and check the temperature on everything. The door, like, it feels good as far as the door goes. That's freaking cool, man. Wait, I swore I saw people freaking put in the actual Xbox. Let's see. We could keep the Xbox Series X cool in there. There you go. You're gonna have to remove the those things to close it. But yeah, it fits the Xbox Series X just fine. Okay, now can I get it out? Okay. All right, let's get this plugged in and get these bottles cool, man. All right. This goes in the AC, 120 volt up top. I kind of wish the plug was down here, but whatever. Okay, let's plug this thing in. You got the little Xbox logo right there, little green accent where the handle is, little plastic over mold flash or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, not the highest quality thing. This is a novelty. This is a novelty. For sure. All right, let's plug this thing in. Oh, these buttons are actually for the lights. This one's for the top, but it's like real iffy. Okay, let me show you the top. Little green accent light there. Big deal, but it works. And there's a fan, but like the fan ain't moving. Okay. And that's the light for there. Okay, I almost forgot to turn it on, but as you see, I did turn it on. I'm gonna leave this sitting for a few hours. Now the fan is going, and I'm in my garage, so it's kind of already loud in here, but here is the mic next to the fan. It's not really overly loud compared to other things in my garage or the fan that I actually have on right now. Doesn't really seem like it's going to bother me, but I know other people have mentioned it drives them nuts. The other thing I'm noticing, which is kind of annoying, is like this button, like how I'm just kind of touching, like, okay, it's turned off and that's for the light on top, but the button is very delicate. Like, watch. So I have it pushed in. Now it's like I'm rubbing it like a little nipple. It's shorting out there. Turn it off. Turn it back on. It's got to be like in the right. You got to rub it just right. It's freaking stupid. Maybe mine's a little defective on that button, the connection to that light. I don't know. Not that huge a deal, but okay, we're gonna let this sit for a while, cool those beverages. Okay, so I've let this thing run for a couple hours now, maybe a little bit over 2 hours, and I decided to start recording again because I noticed the temperature was staying consistent for about the past hour now. There's gonna be a couple things that kind of change the way this thing cools, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But right now, I do have my probe right by the thermoelectric mechanism, the whatever that's actually blowing down the air. It's not a big breeze, kind of like a little gust, a little whisper of air. So it's not gushing out cool air by any means, but the coolest spot of this refrigerator, we're getting 10 degrees Celsius, which is going to be around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That seems to be the coldest this thing is getting with room temperature bottles of water in there. Now, if we move the probe down, right up here is where the, it's blowing out the air. Like I said, it's not really much of blowing out air. It's just a little bit of air coming through. Now, if we just leave it in the middle, which will kind of, give you the actual temperature that this machine is running at through the entire thing, or how cold it feels for the bottles that are in there. We're getting closer to around 20 degrees Celsius, maybe around 19. So it's gonna take a minute to cool back down after touching the probe, but right now it's at 22 degrees Celsius, but I've seen it get down to around 19, which is going to be around 66 degrees. Now, the ambient room temperature in my garage where I'm filming this right now is around 85 degrees Fahrenheit. That will definitely affect the cooling of this system here. I'm calling it a system, it's a refrigerator, damn it. The other thing is, you see, it's still kind of, it's going down a little bit, But the major thing that's going to keep your beverages cool is not putting room temperature bottles in here. Like these right now, they still, even after a couple hours, they barely feel any different than when I first put them in. Like they feel slightly cool, but not to where I'm like, oh man, I'm dying of thirst. Like give me an ice cold beverage. No, this isn't an ice cold beverage. Been in there for a couple hours, but not ice cold by any means. The way you maintain an ice cold beverage is by putting in an ice cold beverage to begin with. That's just how these thermoelectric refrigerators work. They're coolers. They kind of need cold items to be put in there to begin with. So that's one thing to note. Like you're not going to get this and be like, I'm going to put my Subway sandwich in here. I'm going to put a couple beers that weren't in the cooler in here. Nothing will really get crazy cold. And if you put hot stuff in here, it probably won't get cold. It'll just kind of stay warm. It's not safe for food. Just being straight up. You don't want to use this for food. You want to use it for beverages that have already been cooled and you put them in here. Now the last thing I want to do is test that USB, see if that actually works. Let me charge a controller real quick. So I have no idea if this USB port actually works. I mean, it should, but who the hell knows, right? Like I still got that issue with this freaking light up here. Like touch sensitive. Okay, so I got a Nintendo USB-C plugged in. Let's see if it gives any power to my Switch controller here. Yes, it does. It's charging. It's charging. So you could put in some cold beverages, you know, charge your controller. Nice little refrigerator, but keep your expectations in check. I've used these kind of things in the past quite a bit for various, you know, reasons, I guess you would say. And yeah, you got to put cold stuff in to kind of have everything stay cold. Otherwise, it doesn't work. You put warm or room temperature stuff, it's going to take a hell, like room temperature stuff, just got to take hella long to get cold or cool. Like, I don't even think it's possible to really chill your beverages. Put cold stuff in here and you're fine. There you go. That's my review of the Xbox Series X mini refrigerator replica. It's neat. It's a novelty. It doesn't really like perform great, I guess. I mean, I don't know all the specs on this thing, but there you go, man. Little refrigerator action for you guys. Appreciate y'all watching. Give you guys a big ass blurry thumb up before we go. Bye.